Rogers, man, it is so good to see you, my friend. How's everything?
Hey, great to see you too, Phil. It's great, man.
I'll tell you what, my brother just flew in from Taiwan. He's down there. He's totally raving about the day we just had on the Island Spirit here out of Ventura Harbor Sportfishing. We had such a good time, man. Thank you.
Thanks. It was great having you out. It was fun having Paul out. I think Paul's stoked. He's got to be asleep, man. What, he caught 90% of the fish today?
Yeah, he was pretty hot up there in the bow and having a good time with you and me, and it was great. We spent the first part of our trip, we'll get into it in more detail, but we caught all kinds of great eating rockfish, and then we finished up with the best barracuda bite I've seen in a long time. I mean, I haven't seen big gar like that for a while. That was fun, man.
No, that was good. That was good. I told you it'd get going there towards the end.
Yeah, you were right, man. You called it. In fact, kept saying, well, once the tide, gets into optimum position, we're going to start catching it. Man, They fired up and bit.
No, that was fun. That was good. They're thick right now. Thick fish, big.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, those were big gar, weren't they?
Yeah.
They got to be like 6, 7, 8 pounders. We're not sinking, are we?
No. No. Being annoyed. No.
That stuff happens, man.
Yeah.
All right, so
alert.
let's talk a little bit about the Island Spirit. Honest to God, we had such a great time. I don't know whether it's the food, whether it's the crew. I mean, all of that is so top notch on this rig. It's unbelievable how good you guys are with customer service, man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we work hard to try to make that a thing. I think this is fishing number one, but number two, it's customer service. People are paying money to come out here to have a good time, catch fish, be treated well, respected, and we definitely want to make sure that's what happens when they come on the boat. We've got a good crew down there. You guys got. We have today Joey, Chase, and Gavin. It's pretty much our A team right there.
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty much our whole team.
They are so good. They are so polite, so good, so knowledgeable about fishing. I mean, you have a great seminar on the way out. And then it's just a constant seminar all day long out here. There was a lot of novice anglers out here today, and they all caught fish.
Yeah, no, it was great. Yeah, I think, what do we have? We had one big group of 10, you, your brother, and then a couple other guys came out, open party, and it's pretty much, I think everybody was a rental rod.
Yeah.
Maybe except for, I think, two people.
Yeah,
had
right.
their own gear today. So yeah, no, that was fun. They did a good job. They listened, took the advice, asked for help, and they caught fish.
Absolutely. What's the schedule up here on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Harbor Sportfishing?
We're online every day, 7 days a week. We have charters some days, but the schedule's up on the website, venturasportfishing.com. We're online 7 days a week. We leave at 6 a.m. and get back at 5 p.m. That's the set schedule. We don't have anything going on right now where we're leaving earlier or doing anything funky. We try to keep it consistent. That way, consistency's key.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even the little things, like we're standing up there at 5:30 this morning, and you guys aren't waiting till 6 to board everybody. You go to the bait receiver, you load bait, and then we walk on board and off we go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We try to get everything done. That way, once everybody's here, signed in, you guys come on down and we get the heck out of there. Get to business.
So how's it looking for you? So, let's talk about today's trip, and then we'll kind of project into the future. I'd like to see what you think. It's kind of a cold water year this year, isn't it?
It stayed a lot colder than, the past few years have. Not saying last year the water was really warm. It spiked up a bit there. In the summertime, it kind of jumped up big. We had all that south swell from those few hurricanes and stuff, and I think we have one of those events going on right now. There's a little south pushing in from that storm down below.
Yeah.
And hopefully it warms back up. It's like I was telling you this morning when we were fishing, the water is 59 degrees. 2 weeks ago it was 64 degrees there. When we left today, I think it was just under 62, so it didn't really quite warm up once the sun came out. We're not at the island now, but coming back onto the beach and it's still only 61.7.
Yeah, I know, it's unbelievable. We had really excellent rock fishing today. Should people come for the near future prepared to do some rock kind of combo fishing or what?
Yeah, we always try to do a little bit of everything unless there's something substantial that, we think we can fish bass all day or do barracuda all day. We want to, we take a lot of novice people, like you said, and not everybody can come out and throw a jig or fly line a bait or fish a bait on a sliding sinker, especially, we're pretty much 99% anchovies been our bait here. Last year, this year, we did have a little sardine last year, but pretty much straight anchovy right now, and it's really nice anchovy. It's not that tiny little stuff. There's some big ones in there, but it's a learning curve for some people. So we try to break the day up, and we'll either start in the morning if that's our best shot at it, and do that for a while and keep it going if it is, or we'll go do some rock fishing and whitefish and try to catch some sheephead. Whitefish right now has been pretty slow since the season opened. There's a little spurt like a week ago where it bit a little bit, but in March we were out here fishing them, given that's all we could catch. Normally we'd be fishing rockfish at that time of year, and we ran a few trips, and it was limits every trip. And then April came around and rockfish open. You get your rockfish and go try to catch a whitefish, and pretty much fall on your face.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't know. It's just funky. It's not ready yet.
Yeah.
It'll come around, and once it does, we try to do that more than the rock fishing. Summertime, we want to keep it shallower for people. We spent a lot of our early part of the season here in some deeper water. There's no depth restriction now. I mean, we weren't super deep, but we were fishing 600, 650, stuff like that. Which is pretty deep for the average fisherman. People aren't used to it, but it's good fishing. But we're not trying to do that every day. Pretty much put everybody asleep by the end of that. They're tired. They can't do anything else. So we're trying to keep it as shallow as we can for rockfish and whitefish, and it's been picking a bit. We had a good mix of fish today.
Yeah, we did. Good excellent quality. Some big vermilions, whitefish, lots of goats.
Yeah.
Beautiful fish, man.
Yeah, it was good. We kind of lucked out there for a little bit. Like I said, this supermoon has had the current really jacked up everywhere. I mean, you saw it. There probably 15 tide lines every time.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Want to go a different direction, a different speed, and we did it until that current picked up too much and it wasn't working anymore. But while we had our shot, picked away at it, which was nice.
You got plenty of tackle for rent, so if somebody's listening, like you said, a bunch of people on here had rental gear, and they're going home with full sacks of fish.
Oh yeah, they did fine. They did just fine catching barracuda. Some of them fished at, I didn't recommend it, but some of them fished a dropper loop and they still caught some barracuda.
I saw that, man.
Some caught them on the sliding sinker and the anchovy, and then some of those guys, they even bought some surface irons this morning from the office, and they made it work and caught them. Our rental gear is really good. The rods are nice.
Yep.
They have good reels. Your brother used one.
That's right.
He's bouncing barracuda.
Me too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the office has everything you need, and a lot of people want to know the night before, and 99% of the time we have a general idea, but it's never really until the morning that day. Everything.
What you're gonna do?
Yeah. Everything can change overnight, but I'd come prepared right now. All you need, probably heaviest setup you need is a 30-pound setup right now. It's something you can fish, 250, 300 feet probably at the most right now, and then have a lighter setup. You can go inside so you can fish bass, probably 15, 20-pound setup. And of course, if you have a jig stick, I always recommend bringing that. That helps out tremendously. But where are we going with that?
So like three rods, you're covered, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. For the most part, 2 rods you'll be fine. Just leave the reel plates and the broomsticks at home. We don't need this right now. That'll absolutely hamper your day if that's all you bring.
Right. So this guard, did you see this grade of barracuda last year, and did it stick around for a while?
There was a lot of volume last year. There was probably about a month stretch there, and even after that, it kind of stuck around. It just got finickier.
Yeah.
That's a word. But,
I think it is.
Yeah. But it got a little weird, but for a while it was real good. But there was a lot of shorts mixed in with that stuff last year too. But it was good. But this year, the first day we started fishing it, I was surprised. I think we measured 3 fish that whole time. It's pretty close to the same.
Yeah.
I think I threw 1 short back. I seen the guys throw a couple shorts back, but for the most part, I mean, they're visually, they're good.
Yeah, I mean, there was no doubt on any. Yeah,
38 inches or something. That was a good thick one.
That's a nice one, right?
Even some of the ones that are 29 inch over legal, they're coming up fat.
Yeah, oh my God, I know.
These things are healthy right now.
They are so cool. You came up to me at one point, and I think this is a good time to teach people something. You said, "Hey Phil, where are they?" And and what you meant by that was, where are the birds dipping?
Yeah.
Where are you seeing the bird life?
Yeah.
That's where you want to cast to, right? As you talk to people right now, you got to pay attention, right?
I mean, you want to keep an eye on the birds, definitely, especially when there's fish around it. Like you saw that stuff. The seals. We had a couple big seals and a couple small seals on us. And
Yeah.
that big one was absolutely a destroyer. And I don't know how many he ate, but he ate his fair share and about 15 other halves of ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, they get scared. They're not going to come up next to the boat when it's like that. They'll come up close, but those things are circling around the boat, hanging under the boat. They don't want to get close. You just kind of watch it. Just going around the boat. It'd do it, cycle it, come down the starboard side, come up, stick off the bow, go back down the port.
Yep.
And, there is always still a little bit of fish everywhere with it, but, it's like I was helping that one gentleman with the spinning rod up in the bow. He's on the other side. Come up here, man. They're blowing up. Try to teach them, keep your eye on the birds. Watch the birds. You'll see the fish push the bait. You'll watch the anchovy jump out of the water. You'll watch the barracuda next. Cast over there. That's where you want to be.
Absolutely. Works so well. Fast retrieve, slow retrieve? How do you retrieve for barracuda?
Man, it all depends.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like a medium retrieve right now for them. It also depends what kind of jig you're fishing. We've been having a lot of luck. I always recommend a Tatty C over here for the barracuda. The 45 works great. That C seems to work really well. I think it always has for cuda. That single hook, sometimes that single hook works great. Sometimes you just fish all day and you're getting bumped on it. You can't get it in there, and switch to a treble hook and then get them. But what jig do you have on there?
We had a Tatty C, I believe, single hook.
Single hook.
Single hook.
Yeah.
And what I love about a single hook is you don't have to deal with. I mean, you just shake them off, man.
Yeah.
And they're on the deck.
Close their mouth with all 3.
Yeah, exactly. It makes life easy, doesn't it?
No, absolutely. But yeah, that mega baits, try to leave the stick baits and jerk baits and weird surface stuff with 3 treble hooks at home when you're fishing barracuda. It works, don't get me wrong, but it gets shaky when you're trying to swing those things over, especially
I know.
If you got people around. We have people that come out and do it, and it works. But those little mega baits, those things, money. Little mega baits, cold snipers. You got to think you want to match the hatch. We're throwing all this anchovy on it, it's destroying it. Probably don't want to throw something that's that big out there at it, but you get something anchovy colored like that, you're a good shot at catching them.
Absolutely, man, and that seemed to work really, really well today. Now, one thing I noticed, man, your jig was all chipped up, and the color, I mean, it didn't seem to be all that important.
Yeah, no.
And I talked to the guys from Tatty Lures many times, and they say, to be honest with you, I don't think color is that important. So what's your opinion? You see it day in and day out here.
With the barracuda, at least lately, it hasn't been so much. It's not an issue of the color. It's you want a jig that can swim. You want something that has nice action. You want it to look natural. You want it to be out there kicking, moving. You still want something that comes back to the boat looking like this. They don't like it. They'll just follow it. They're not going to bite it. But I mean, that's a whole nother thing in itself, trying to pick out a nice jig, and that takes a lot of time, and you got to go through them sometimes and try them out. And they don't swim, they go to the junk pile or give it to your friend pile.
Oh, right.
But yeah, color, I don't think so much. I mean, you get a jig that swims and it loses all its paint, you just leave it.
I was watching some of the guys that were novice anglers, and they'd get a bite and they'd rear back on the rod and then drop their rod and the fish was gone. You hook your fish by turning the handle, right?
Yeah, turn the handle. Keep winding. It's going to get tight. Once it gets tight, then you can bring your rod back, put a bend in it. But you get bit on a surface iron or some kind of jig like that while you're retrieving it, and you feel it bump and you yank it, 99% of the time, I guarantee it's just going to pop that right out of its mouth because it's not set yet.
So you make a cast initially with your Tatty C.
Mm-hmm.
How far down the water column do you sink it? Do you give it a 3 count?
Sometimes it all depends.
You got to experiment?
Depends on the condition, the current, the wind, Are the fish like completely up and on the surface? Sometimes, the past few days, I think some of the guys were giving it like a 3 count, letting it sink just a little bit. I usually let it sink. Countitude, I don't even count. I just let it sink, hit the water, my line tight, and start winding.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta let it sink a little bit. Sometimes you have the current fighting against you, and you gotta imagine your surface iron doesn't weigh very much. It's not gonna want to stay under if you have it right on the top of the water and it's ripping with the current, or you got the breeze and the current, or sometimes you got choppy conditions and swell, and then makes things tough. But every day is different. That's for sure. Every hour is different. That first hour we were there, the jigs didn't want to stay in the water that well. We had that breeze coming over the island, current going the opposite way, funky, and then switched up, and then worked out a lot better. I think got 99% of the CUDA after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you fishing Spectra with a top shot of mono? Or
I recommend fishing mono. Honestly, have some Spectra on your reel. That way, you're not just constantly putting an entire spool of mono on there. But you want to definitely have enough mono to where you can comfortably cast that and then still have mono on there. You don't want to just have a top shot where, you're casting it and then halfway out that knot's hitting your guide and it's bouncing back, because you see it all the time. People
all the time, yeah.
Have enough, and it's just so much easier for people to cast on mono. And people come out and they try to wing Spectra and they don't really know what they're doing yet. And there's some guys that like fishing it like that. I personally don't. I like monofilament on there. It's smoother, it's easier to work with, and then you're not blowing up your reel with 65-pound braid. It's knotted together and you're picking it out for the next half hour and you're not catching anything.
Hey, that's my specialty. I did that for you twice at least today, didn't I?
Mono on there, though.
I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, and I still screwed it up.
You did it once on accident. The second one was on purpose.
Yeah. What pound mono? Are you talking 40? 30?
30, 40.
Yeah.
30, 40. It all depends. When it's Barracuda like this, I like 30. I think it's smoother. I think the jig swims a little bit better. But, when there's yellowtail around and stuff, it's probably better to have some 40 on.
Yeah.
But, to each their own. I think everybody has their own preference, which, goes to say, too, with people that like to fish braid on their jig sticks. But,
Yeah.
I like 30.
So previous to this bite, you were having some exceptional halibut fishing up here. Occasional sea bass, right? You were doing really well on that stuff.
Yeah,
Is that over with for the year, or is that in our future maybe?
No, I don't know if it's over with. It's tough to say if that sea bass is going to bite big again. That halibut, that bit really well. It seemed up and down the coast, from down there where you're at in Pedro all the way freaking up to Santa Barbara and stuff.
Yeah. That was one of the better years you've seen?
Yeah, no, that was great. It was good, we were able to go in and, get our rockfish in the morning and then go and spend some time and fish halibut and, picking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 a trip. It was good fishing.
God, yes. It was incredible.
Great, and it's fun, because everybody always wants to, do a halibut drift until you're doing it, and then
right.
Some 90% of the time it's like watching grass grow, but then they change their minds and they're bored. But when you're picking them like that, it's great.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So as we look ahead, it's a weird year. Here it is July, and we had 59-degree water today. It's very, very cool. Let's assume that it's going to warm up, and all indicators are with an El Nino bearing down on us and yellowfin pushing up the Baja coast into San Diego. It seems like at some point in time this water is going to get warm. What can we expect up here? Heck, you've already caught bluefin tuna this year.
Yeah, well, that was another island on another boat.
Yeah.
that was pretty interesting to see that stuff up this way so soon.
You were on the Endeavor.
Yes.
And you were in exceptionally shallow water for bluefin tuna, right?
Yeah. We were inside anchor fishing a kelp line, and that stuff came up outside of us, and we drove over the first spot we seen and looked down at the meter, and we're in 66 feet of water.
Oh my God.
And I don't think we went deeper than 25, maybe 30 fathoms at the most.
Oh
So,
God.
150 to 180 feet. It was not.
Yeah.
It was not deep. That spot of fish had just been pushing all this anchovy that was back behind the island, and it just pushed it all the way in there and just followed it down the back where it wanted to go. That was, it's pretty neat. It's pretty fun. They didn't want to go straight up and down because they were going to be right on the bottom. So these fish, he'd hook on me and watch them. They were just staying on the surface the whole time.
Oh wow.
But yeah, shoot. Who knows?
What'd you
what
get?
to
You got
expect
two
now.
of those things? Or?
Yeah, we went 2 for 7.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we were a little undergunned.
Undergunned, yeah.
There was 10 to 100, maybe a little over 100-pound fish
Wow.
boiling around, and the 2 we got were 95 pounds, just under 100 pounds, and that came on 800 L's and thorium 16s, and I think a Trinidad 20. So little
Undergunned.
a lot of mono.
Yeah, right.
It was kind of tough, but worked hard to get them to the boat, and the guys got them. We had quite a few heartbreaks, but I mean, we weren't ready for it. We were undergunned. We're rockfish and sea bass trip,
Does that portend bluefin for the future, or is it a crapshoot? It doesn't mean much. It was just. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think it's still up there where it was. I think it might have pushed back out, down towards the outer islands or heading back towards Clemente or SBI and that way. But yeah, it came up here last year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
You guys had some good fishing, right?
It came up the beach. It was outside of Malibu. It came inside of Malibu, pretty shallow, doing the same stuff too.
God almighty.
Down by County Line and up the back of Anacapa and behind our, the footprint closure and through Santa Cruz and stuff, and even out up into the flats out, which is deeper water. It's quite a few miles off Santa Rosa, but the guys seen it up there, and just got to settle in. If it ever settles in up here, be in business like the guys down south.
Yeah, I mean, I think the odds are pretty good. I mean, there's fish up in San Francisco now.
Yeah, they caught a nice one the other day, didn't they?
Yeah, they caught a nice one, and then was it yesterday they contacted me, and they had 2 or 3 out of 5, something like that, and nice big ones again too. So
guys might be catching them up north and just keeping it hush hush. Still, I know a lot of private guys.
Yeah.
Last year, catching them up out of Port San Luis and places up there.
So I'm going to just say that is a distinct possibility that we could get a shot of that bluefin tuna. What else do you see in our future? In a typical year when the water starts to warm up, what do we start to catch up here in the Channel Islands? What do you see?
As water starts warming up, we should get some better bass fishing. The bass are starting to bite a bit. It's just been kind of funky. The water keeps rolling itself over, cooling back down. Once it gets warm and stays consistent there, that stuff will liven up, settle down. Won't be so shell shocked of all the changes it's going through. Some good bass fishing, hopefully some bonita this year.
Yeah.
Even some yellowtail. It's been a little bit slower the last few years on the yellowtail, but that's nothing new. It got pretty good there for a while when the El Nino water pushed all the fish up, and after that, but it's just everything's kind of come back to its normal cycle of how things are.
And when you see all this anchovy around, Cody, is this the most anchovy you've seen in recent years, or is it about normal, or what?
The last couple of years there's been a lot.
Yeah.
There's been a lot this year, that's for sure. I mean, at the islands, out here, on the coast, up the beach, down the beach, there's definitely a lot around.
What does that say about, that's just the environment going back to normal more than anything, right?
Yeah, pretty sure that sardine comes from, where is it? It's like down, not in this country.
Yeah, right. Somewhere south.
The tidal, tidal flow up, and it does its cycle with the warmer waters, I believe. And things are just kind of coming back to normal. It's not saying we're not going to have sardine. There's sardine around. fish or landings down south are fishing sardine.
Yeah,
you know?
anchovy.
But up here we have a lot of anchovy, and needless to say, it works up here. And this year we're tenfold catching rockfish on anchovy versus squid.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What they want,
Yeah. What about sand bass? Is that in our future, do you think?
Yeah, I think once this stuff settles up a little bit, we've caught a few this year. We've spent a few days on the beach. We've come out here and looked at our local spots that, keeping check on them. It just hasn't been quite ready yet. Reading's not quite there. Water's funky and miscolored a lot of the time. And, but it's going to come around. It'll get going there. We'll have a little shot. It just might be a little bit later. It was like middle of June last year, end of June. It got pretty good bass fishing on the beach. And quite a bit of sand bass and calico bass around. And, this year it's had its flashes. It just hasn't quite gotten there yet. But that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, you feel like we're behind. Chronologically,
Yeah,
it's July,
yeah.
but it feels more like June, doesn't it? Early June.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. Things are taking a little bit longer to get with it this year than normal cycle. But hopefully it comes and get back to the regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, heck yeah. These freaking kelp flies are a pain in the neck this year, aren't they? They're flying on the lens here as I'm doing this. We're seeing them land on you.
Right.
They're all over me right now. What a
Not to
pain in the neck.
Walk around and smash them all while we're filming. Yeah, no, they're good, man. They're abundant and they're annoying.
I know. Have you seen anything cool that normally you don't see? Basking sharks? Do you normally see them? And have you seen them this year? Have you seen any blue whale? Anything weird like that?
No, I haven't seen a basking shark this year. I've heard of guys seeing one. There are some orcas. Orcas have been coming through.
Oh, yeah?
Probably like the last 2 months or so. I know the whale watching guys have been seeing them. I've heard other boats driving in and seeing them. It seems like we've always been like, a mile or two behind or wrong. I know the Pacific Eagle, they stopped on some the other day on their way home, but we were battling quite a bit of weather, and I wasn't gonna drive down to do that and get my butt kicked. But we've seen them in the past. I think if anything crazy we've seen this year. Bluefin tuna in the shallows at Santa Rosa. Swordfish in the shallows at Anacapa. That's probably the coolest stuff.
That's pretty cool, man. You seen some sorties in there?
Yeah, we had one the other day around the boat, and they let us get right up to it and follow it around. It was pretty neat. He wasn't spooked at all. It was a good fish seeing tour for people.
That is bitching. Yeah.
He was pretty big. Probably a couple 100-pounders.
Wow, how cool
Pretty
is
healthy.
that?
Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool. I mean, part of this whole day today, and I've been doing this for a long time, and I mean, just the islands are so beautiful, and the sun was out, and like my brother said, the fish are biting. He goes, I hate to see this day end, is what Paul said to me, and I go, I do too, man. This has been so enjoyable. It's been just such a great trip, and as I say, you have to add all that stuff in, and you can start right up there in the ticket office in the morning with Sal. He is awesome with the people. My brother goes, man, he's a teacher is what he is. He's out there taking his time with everybody, telling them what kind of jig, just really, really showing a great deal of concern for the clients at Ventura Harbor Sportfishing.
Yeah, absolutely. Sal, for those of you that don't know, he's our landing manager. He does a fantastic job for all the boats. He's very good with the people, very helpful, great at keeping the landing in order and things nice and stocked and smelling good and clean, and making sure the customers are taken care of every morning while they're there and have everything they need. He tries his hardest, and the rest is on you.
Yeah, right. Right. And if
he's not trying to just sell you things you don't need.
He really is
trying hard because he knows we told him what to make sure you guys have in the morning.
Yeah, right. He's a good guy. And if there's somebody's daughter or son watching and dad speaks Spanish, he's good up there with Sal, because Sal speaks fluent Spanish.
Yeah, no, Sal's great. That's fantastic that we have that. I myself am not fluent in Spanish. I can maybe BS my way around.
Well, that's good. That's perfect. And we send more people out here that speak Spanish, and you can practice up.
But we do our best.
That's great. And if somebody's going to make a reservation, is it best to call the landing, or is it best to...
Either or.
Yeah.
Either or. I mean, if you call the landing, after 10 o'clock on most nights, nobody's going to be there.
Yeah.
And then usually if there's not a boat going out that night, I believe everybody goes home by 8 o'clock because there's nothing going on anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, give the landing a call if you want to do it that way. They'll sign you up, get your information over the phone, and book your spot. Or you can do it online. It's super easy. It's pretty much what they're doing when you call them. You can just do it yourself. VenturaSportfishing.com. Click on the book now link or view schedule to check out the trips that the boats have, and click on the date you want. Sign up, get your information in, and you don't even have to make a phone call. It's very simple. You're ready to go when you get here. You don't have to do anything. Just sign in, get your stuff, wait up top, and then you come down to the boat.
So enjoyable, man. And I kind of glossed over it, and it's not fair, so let's not gloss over it. Man, the food on here. I'm on the frickin' carnivore keto diet, so,
there you go.
I needed like a custom meal, and I got it, man.
Nice.
I got my lettuce wrap burger. My brother goes, man, I haven't had he's in China, so they don't have grilled cheese sandwiches all the time.
No,
so he's like, I got to have a grilled
yeah.
cheese sandwich. And he goes, man, this is to die for.
Getting his American fixin'.
And it's a delightful environment in there, clean, good food. That's just another thing that makes me want to come back here and fish on the island Spirit again really, really soon.
Oh, heck yeah. No, Gavin does a good job down there, making sure the galley stays clean, well stocked. Take your order, make it how you want it. He's not afraid to, do whatever you want. He'll make it. If we can make it with what we carry, he'll do it.
And Gavin was the one who gave the seminar on the way out and did a great job. Fantastic.
Yeah, he likes doing that, so he's our seminar guy.
He's appointed to be the seminar guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It helps out. We usually do on most trips. Sometimes, we start fishing just, short of where we're going to go, and we don't have time to do it. This or that, but no, it's good, especially when we have a novice group. We know there's a lot of first timers and rental rods that generally they probably haven't been fishing in the ocean before, or only a couple times, and they might not know what we're doing. We kind of want everybody to be on the same page there, at least have a general idea. That way, it's like showing up to work for the first day and you don't know what you're supposed to do, and then you clock in and you're just standing there and watching everybody around you.
Exactly.
At least give you a foot in the door and help you out, and the guys will still go around and help and show people and drop you down and help you get bit and show you how to hook fish and get the fish up and what to do. It's everybody's out here learning. We want everybody to have a good time. Remember it. They're out here. We want to catch some fish, have a good time, and try our best to give it to them.
Man, you succeeded, let me tell you. And
thank you.
if I were going to send a family who's never gone fishing before to a boat, I'd have no hesitation to send them here, man.
Send them on
out. They're going to have the time of their life.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I saw that today. I mean, there was some kids out here that, first time, and man, they're bouncing Barracuda after a little bit of instruction and catching these big vermilions and just having a really good time. And, that's the way this sport is going to grow, is if we get new people in and they have a positive, fun experience, because they're all down there saying, hey, how do I get the video, or how do I watch your YouTube channel? And, they're going to share it, and because they want to show everybody what they did and how much fun they had. And so my hat's off to you for, spreading the word of sport fishing.
We're trying, man.
All right, well, it looks like we're almost in. Anything else you want to cover? I mean, I think we've covered it all. We know how to catch Barracuda now.
That's about it.
Go ahead.
Come out fishing.
Cody, it has
We
been...
want to take you fishing.
It has been
You can only do it if you come.
It's been such a delight for my brother and I to spend time with you.
Thank you.
We don't have a lot of time to spend together, and we chose to do it on the island Spirit.
No, I was glad when you messaged me the other day asking. Absolutely.
Yeah,
come on out.
And we're not looking backwards at all. It's like, in fact, I'm like, hey, let's do one more of these before you go to San Francisco.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do another one.
All right, Cody, you're the man. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Really appreciate your time and all the care that you put into this trip. We had a memorable time.
Oh man, it was a fun one. I'm glad.
Take care, my friend.
Definitely, you too, Phil.